Today, right now, is about to go down. And you guys right now are about to get some of the most important information that'll change your life. How many of you right now are ready to learn the law of explosive growth? If you are, say aye. All right, I'm going to dive into this. This is going to change your life, okay? Here's what it looks like. Law of explosive growth. To add growth, lead followers. To multiply growth, lead leaders. Okay? You've got to lead leaders, not followers. How do you do that? Let me explain to you guys how it works. What it is this. Ralph Nader said it. I wish I did, but he says the function of leadership is to produce more leaders, not more followers. You want more what? Leaders. You want more leaders. Leaders math. It's all about leaders math, okay? I'm going to explain to you guys what is leaders math. What am I talking about? Okay? Prime example is John Shatner. You guys know Papa John's? You guys remember that company? John Shatner says, it's my job to build the people who are going to build the company. Look at this, okay? Papa John's in '84 was founded, okay, with one store. In 1992, they only had 220 stores. That's basically after how many years? 8 years, right? From 92 to 98, they got to 1,600 plus. He shifted his thinking on developing people. You understand, it's not how many people you recruit, it's how many people you convert into leaders. How many people you have graduate through the university? How many people you have graduate through this course? How many people do you have that get started in the business that become successful? It's not how many you get, it's how many you keep, it's how many you develop. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about right now. You got to develop leaders, man. Like right now, you got to have a leader's heart. And I'm going to explain to you guys what it looks like. This is on the left is leaders that develop leaders. Their growth multiplies. Leaders that develop followers, they only add growth one at a time. So you got to realize if this is you right here and you right here, and you develop a leader, guess what happens? You develop a leader, then guess what? Now you have all these other leaders because you have a leader that you brought in what? I'm going to say it again, guys, because some of you look perplexed right now. You're like, oh man, this is confusing. If you're a leader and you have other leaders that you bring in, they bring in other leaders, you're going to have a bunch of followers. You have a big team, right? But if you only add followers, you're only going to add growth very slowly. So my question to you is what? Do you want to have explosive growth or do you want to have slow growth? Explosive. Guys, it's all about explosive growth. Guys, here it is. This business is easier to do fast than it is to do slow. Yes. It's easier to get rich quickly than it is to get rich slowly in this business. So my question to you is this: would you rather make it happen fast or slow? It's actually harder to do slow. This is called getting rich slowly. That's hard. Over here is getting rich quickly. It's actually easier to do quickly than it is to do slowly. The question you have to ask yourself is which one do you want to do? Do you want to get rich quickly or slowly? If you want to become wealthy fast, then you've got to guess what? Understand the law of explosive growth. Here's what it looks like. Let me explain to you better. Prime example of the law of explosive growth is what? Here it is. Leaders who attract followers need to be needed. Okay? Leaders who develop leaders want to be succeeded. Good leaders lead for the sake of their followers and for what they can leave behind after their time of leadership is completed. See, when you look, I'm not teaching you guys this stuff for my benefit. Just understand, you guys. The reason why I want you guys to become successful leaders is why? For you. Not just in this business, but for you in life. Because life is filled with too many followers. There's too many followers out there. We're looking for leaders. How do we develop leaders, guys? We have to understand the significance. It's all about developing leaders, okay? Leaders who attract followers develop the bottom 20%. They're what we call basically like counselors. You guys get that? They're always dealing with problems. Leaders who develop leaders develop the top 20%. Okay? They know that if they develop the best will develop the rest. Did you guys just catch that one? Yes. They know, here's what I know. I know that if I develop the best will develop the rest. Is that incredible? That's powerful. Here's what it looks like. Best thing I can think of is what? Law of explosive growth. Leaders who attract followers focus on weaknesses. Leaders who develop leaders focus on strengths. Here's how you know. Let me give you the prime example. The best person I've ever seen at the law of explosive growth is Julian Doan. Yeah. Never seen anybody better at it in my entire career. And the reason being is because he just focuses on strengths of people. It's insane. I can't even believe it. Like, he'll take people that you would just never bet on and transform them into beasts. Like, you just see him and you're just like, oh my God. He just rips out the goodness in people. Why? Because he focuses in on their strengths. Julie never calls me and starts telling me how much he looks at people and says, oh my God, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. See, if you look at people for what they are, okay? If you look at for what they are, they become worse. But if you look at for what they could be, they'll become what they should be. So I'm going to train that in a second. But leaders who attract followers, they treat everybody the same. Okay? But when you work with your best people, you can build their strengths. Okay? Leaders who attract followers treat everybody the same. Leaders who develop leaders treat everybody differently. The greater the impact of the leader, the greater the opportunities they will receive. So it's about developing people. Here's the prime example of that is what? Okay? Leaders who attract followers, for your notes, leaders who attract followers spend time with others. Leaders who develop leaders invest time with others. Wow. Leaders take time to develop the leaders they attract. They are making a valuable investment in them. Right now, I'm taking time to develop you. Why am I doing that? So you can go out there and do the same thing. I'm not teaching you guys this stuff so you know it. I'm teaching you this so you can grow people. It's not about learning stuff. It's about, guess what? Taking this information and going out there, impacting and changing other people's lives, okay? Here's what you have to be aware of for your notes, okay? Leaders who attract followers impact only the people they touch. Leaders who develop leaders impact people beyond their reach, okay? Every time you develop leaders and help them increase their leadership abilities, you make them capable of influencing an even greater number of people. By helping one person, you can reach many others. So you're trying to develop people, and what will happen is people will benefit from that you'll never meet. Did you guys see that? There are people right now that are getting started in network marketing, right now in an inferior company, very inferior company, that were trained by people who that were trained by Julian. You guys see that? Because he developed what? Leaders. Same thing, I could do it all day long. If I made a list of people that are right now, there's tons of people getting started in network marketing. They're being developed. And some of them are getting developed by leaders that don't have the right heart, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of them out there that have got good leaders. Okay, so just realize that you've got to go out there and just grow people. Just grow people. Grow people. Just give your heart to growing people. That's what it's all about, okay? So understand that, you guys. I just want to make sure you guys get that, okay? All right, here's what you need to know. Let me make sure I got that one. All, okay? Yeah, okay, we got all. So you guys got that. That's obvious. Here's what we need to know right now, okay? Right now, the common trait of insecure leaders. I'm going to talk about insecure leaders because leaders that don't develop leaders is because they're insecure. Yep. That's the reason why, okay? Our industry does not attract insecure people by nature. Why? Because by nature, you've got to be an entrepreneur to take risks. And to take risks is, guess what? By nature, you've got to be a secure person to take risks. But common trait number one, they don't provide security for others. An old saying states, you cannot give what you do not have. Just as people without skill cannot impart skill on other people, people without security cannot make others feel secure. And the prime example of this, I'm going to talk about in a second, and for a person to become an effective leader, the kind that others want to follow, he needs to make followers feel good about themselves. This right here is the prime example. And I just saw it on my son's football team, guys. The coach has a very low confidence. And as a result of that, his insecurities he passes on to the kids. He would have two players playing the same position and would switch them out all day long. If one didn't do as good as he wanted, instead of saying, hey, look, you know what, I'm sticking with you, I believe in you, he'll get someone else in there. Why? Because he's insecure. That's the prime example of someone that's insecure. You got to believe in people, man. You got to believe in people. That's the Julian Doan secret. Julian Doan believes in people. And how do you get there? You've got to be humble. See, the reason why Julian's so good at developing people is because of his humility. Julian doesn't look at himself and be like, you know what, I'm the greatest thing in the world. He says, look, you know what? When I first started in the business to where I am today, if I can do it, guess what? Anybody can do it. But see, if you're just walking around thinking you're the greatest thing in the world and nobody's on your level, then guess what? You're never going to develop people. You're never going to be an effective leader because you're not humble enough. You understand? I know who I am. I know I'm an idiot. I know I used to work at a go-kart track and I used to hold a sign that said no bumping and wear pink hat and orange vest. I know that. I know that I never graduated high school. I know that I never went to college. I know that I'm an idiot. But I was lucky enough to get around leaders that changed my life. And in return, I got to go out there and do the same. Guys, it's not hard, okay? So guess what? Impact people. Breed confidence in others. Next thing is this, common trait of insecure leaders, number 2. They take more than they give, okay? Insecure people are often continually on a quest for validation and acknowledgement. Because of that, their focus is on finding security, not instilling security in others. They are primarily takers rather than givers, and takers do not make for good leaders. You're not trying to take, you're trying to what? Give. You're trying to develop other people. You're trying to instill confidence in others. It's not about me, it's about us. You understand? I'm trying to develop other people to go out there and make it happen. That's what the focus has got to be. Number 3 for your notes, continual. This is a common trait. Number 3, they continually limit their best people. Show me an insecure leader and I'll show you someone who cannot genuinely celebrate his people's victories. He might even prevent them from realizing any victories, okay? Or he might take credit personally for the best work of his team. Only secure leaders give power to others, but an insecure leader hoards the power. In fact, the better his people are, the more threatened he feels, and the harder he will work to limit their success and recognition. Wow. Do you understand? It's about injecting confidence in others. It's about believing in people. It's about when someone gets started on your team, knowing that they can do it. Not thinking that you're so great and you're so powerful that you're 1 in a million. You understand that? I know I'm an idiot, and I know that if I can do it, anyone can do it. Why? Because anybody right now can make it happen if you follow the proven plan of action and you're willing to prioritize and go out there and get to work. Okay, it's obvious. Obviously. Okay, next thing is simply what? Number 4, they continually limit the organization. Wowzers. Okay, when followers are undermined and receive no recognition, they become discouraged and eventually stop performing at that potential. And when that happens, the entire organization suffers. If you don't acknowledge and recognize and honor people that are moving the ball forward, guess what happens? Those people are going to become discouraged, and it's going to affect everything. You're going to get negative momentum. You have to look for the people right now in your organization that are making it happen. The way you do it is this. When you look, like when you're developing a baby how to walk, you get excited about the first step they make. When a baby takes their first step, you don't rip their head off and be like, what was that? That was whack. That was the worst I've ever seen. That's pitiful. You guys get that? When a baby walks, what do? Oh my God, that's amazing. Take a picture, you freak out. You understand? Anything that your people do that's right, celebrate it. They make a list the right way, get jacked out of your mind about it. Oh my God, that's amazing. Get excited about everything they do. And guess what? It's going to make them want to do more of it. Recognize people for what they're doing right. Okay? So here's what you have to look at. Prime example, this would be what? This is one of my favorite quotes ever in the history of quotes. Treat a man as he is, and he will remain as he is. Treat a man as he can and should be, and he'll become what he can and should be. Don't treat people for what they are, you only make them worse. Treat them for what they could be, and they'll become what they should be. That's powerful. That's powerful. Johann von Goethe, the German philosopher and poet. That's what he said. When you work with people, man, don't treat them for what they are right now. Treat them for what they're going to become. And guess what? When you treat somebody for what they're going to become, guess what's going to happen? They're going to become that. Let me give you an example right now. What if I signed up under you and guess what? You sponsor me right now in the business. How would you treat me? Think about it. You would probably treat me different than you treat your people, don't you? You treat your people as their leaders, not as their followers. Don't talk down to people. Don't be saying things like, I don't know if you know this or not. You understand? You're not trying to push people down, you're trying to raise people up. You're trying to make people feel better, not worse. Don't argue with your people. Don't argue with people. Oh my God, you don't know what you're doing. And make people feel dumb. You want to make people feel good. That's how you raise them up. It's about raising people up, not about putting people down. Okay, watch this. Okay, watch this. Prime example, this would be what? You can add growth by leading followers, but if you want to maximize your leadership and help your organization reach its potential, you need to develop leaders, okay? When there is no other way, there is no other way to experience explosive growth. So if you want to have that explosive growth and make the results that you want, then guess what you got to do? You have to develop leaders, okay? You have to develop leaders, all right? So here's what you got to know, okay? Here's what you got to know right now. Keep away from those people that are trying to belittle your ambitions, okay? Stay away from people that talk down to you. People that try to belittle your ambitions. People that tell you that you're not good enough or you don't have what it takes. Get away from those people. Build a wall of immunity against those people, okay? Small people always try to do that. But the really great people, what they do is they make you believe that you can become great too. Mark Twain said that one. I wish I did. You're trying to raise up people. You understand? You're trying to grow people. Okay? Here's what you got to know. But how many of you have a better understanding of the law of explosive growth? If you do, say aye. Aye.